What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here then welcome to our little corner of the internet. Today we're going to be watching a video titled Dallas Is Everything Wrong with American Cities. Without further ado, let's see what this video is about.
This is Dallas, one of the fastest growing cities in the United States. Home to more than 8 million people across its metropolitan area, dozens of Fortune 500 companies, and an economy larger than that of many countries. In many ways, it is a massive success story.
It looks amazing.
Especially as people keep moving here in droves. But look
Before I knew what Dallas was, and I just heard about Dallas, I literally thought that it would be like a little town. Like, I don't know why, but even though I knew Dallas was like a city, I just didn't imagine it like looking like New York. There's a bunch of cities that I wasn't expecting to look like what they look like until I saw them.
little closer, and you begin to realize that the city's design makes life harder for the people who live there. The city covers a land area of roughly 340 square miles and is home to around 1.3 million people, giving it a population density of roughly 3,800 people per square mile. For comparison, New York covers a smaller land area than Dallas, but has more than 6 times its population. Basically, Dallas is extremely low density, and its metropolitan area is so spread out that walking from place to place is almost impossible. Just look at it from above, and you'll realize that it practically looks like one giant suburb. And in many ways, that's exactly what it represents: the ultimate realization of the American suburban experiment. Everything was designed around the assumption that people would drive everywhere all the time. And despite the fact that the entire city was practically designed around the car, it has notably bad traffic, consistently ranking among the worst in the US for both congestion and driving hazards. So, how did Dallas become one of the most car-dependent metropolitan areas in America? Unlike cities such as New York, Boston, or Philadelphia, Dallas wasn't shaped by a colonial harbor or centuries of dense urban development. For most of its early history, it was a relatively modest trading and railroad center sitting on the prairies of North Texas. The city's first major boom came in the late 19th century as railroads transformed Dallas into a commercial hub for the surrounding agricultural region. Its population grew rapidly, reaching more than 40,000 people by 1900 and nearly 300,000 by the start of World War II. But the Dallas that we know today wasn't built during the railroad era. It was built during the age of the automobile. After World War II, Dallas experienced the same suburban boom that transformed much of the United States. New highways made it possible to
Why do cars look different nowadays? Why can't they make the same shape but like different engine? Because these are so cute.
live farther from the city center while still commuting to work. Developers responded by building vast new subdivisions across what had previously been open prairie. And unlike many older American cities, Dallas basically had unlimited space to keep sprawling. As a result of growth being transferred to the suburbs, the larger metro area exploded in size, as you can clearly see in this time-lapse. In fact, it was as far back as 1981 that it was reported that Dallas and Fort Worth had effectively merged together. Back then, the region had only around 3 million people, and since then, it has almost tripled. Today, Dallas-Fort Worth covers an area of 9,286 square miles, larger than Rhode Island and Connecticut combined. And unsurprisingly, most of that land is dominated.
This looks crazy though from like above. So many houses. Like this, like to me, looks like if you want to go to the grocery store, like how long do you have to go until you find like, or the nearest mall? This is crazy.
By low-density suburban development. In fact, both Arlington and Fort Worth are among the
I would get so lost in the neighborhoods there.
top 15 cities in the US with the highest percentages of single-family detached homes, and most newly built Dallas suburbs consist solely of them. From above, the pattern becomes obvious. Endless subdivisions stretch toward the horizon. Massive arterial roads connect shopping centers, office parks, warehouses, and residential neighborhoods that are often separated from one another by miles of distance. In many parts of the metro area, it's entirely possible to spend over an hour driving and never leave suburban development. This makes Dallas one of the least walkable cities in the US. In many areas, it's literally almost impossible since the city is missing over 2,000 miles of sidewalks, and nearly
Wow,
50% of the existing ones are damaged. And
that's
Dallas's
crazy.
zoning laws don't exactly help. 69%
In Europe, where you like rather walk than take a car, this is like crazy to me.
of its land is zoned for single-family detached homes only,
Did I say New York or Europe? In Europe was what I meant.
which prevents the construction of multifamily or missing middle buildings like duplexes, triplexes, or even townhomes. This severely limits the affordable housing options to a few confined areas. Low-density development also places enormous strain on infrastructure. Roads, water pipes, power lines, sewers, and emergency services all have to cover far greater distances to serve the same number of people. In practice, that means more infrastructure to build, more infrastructure to maintain, and higher long-term costs for local governments. The problem is that sprawling neighborhoods generate relatively little tax revenue per acre compared to denser mixed-use districts, while still requiring many of the same services. As the metro area continues expanding outward, cities are forced to maintain an ever-growing network of roads and utilities spread across thousands of square miles. For residents, these costs often show up in less obvious ways. Longer drives mean higher fuel expenses. Most households need multiple vehicles. And because daily destinations are so spread out, even simple errands require getting behind the wheel. And this brings us to one of the biggest consequences of Dallas's development pattern: traffic. Despite having one of the largest highway systems in North America, congestion remains a daily reality for millions of residents. Highway
This seems like it's an issue in most of the cities in America. I mean, it's an issue everywhere, isn't it?
such as I-35E, I-635, US 75, the Dallas North Tollway, and the President George Bush Turnpike form the backbone of regional transportation. Over the decades, billions of dollars have been spent widening roads, reconstructing interchanges, and adding new toll lanes in an attempt to keep traffic moving. One of the most famous examples is the LBJ Express project along I-635. Costing $2.7 billion, it added multiple managed toll lanes and significantly expanded highway capacity through North Dallas. Similar projects
I would be so scared to drive there.
have appeared across the Metroplex, creating some of the widest and most complex highway corridors in the country.
My God.
But there's a problem. When you increase capacity, more people begin using the roads, a phenomenon known as induced demand. Over time, much of the congestion relief that expansion projects were intended to create disappears. This is why traffic has remained such a persistent issue. And while
Nice. So the more you fix the problem, the more of an issue there is. Love it.
Dallas is often seen as one of the America's most car-oriented cities, what's surprising is that it actually has a fairly extensive transit system. DART, short for Dallas Area Rapid Transit, operates one of the largest light rail networks in North America, with 4 lines spanning over 90 miles and dozens of stations. The system reaches many parts of Dallas and several surrounding suburbs, like Garland, Plano, and Irving. There's also the Silver Line, a 26-mile regional commuter rail that connects 7 North Texas cities directly to Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport without requiring passengers to route through downtown Dallas. And if you want to travel all the way to Fort Worth, you can take the Trinity Railway Express commuter rail. So, on paper, it actually looks quite effective. The problem is that transit works best when destinations are concentrated close together. In Dallas, however, many stations are surrounded by parking lots, low-density development, or office parks rather than walkable neighborhoods. As a result, even people who use DART often still need a car to complete part of their journey. And in many cases, traveling via DART also takes significantly longer than driving a car. This is why, despite the light rail ranking 7th in the US for total track length, ridership remains really low, with system-wide numbers hovering about 20% below pre-pandemic levels. That decline has also created political pressure on the system itself.
They look very nice and futuristic though.
Highland Park exited in May 2026, and several other North Dallas suburbs are now actively attempting to leave. When it comes to housing, Dallas is a little complicated. One of the main reasons people keep moving to Dallas-Fort Worth is because of its cheap housing prices. Currently, median home prices across much of the metro area generally range between $400,000 and $500,000, which is significantly lower than most large coastal cities. However, Texas has some of the highest property taxes in the country. And now, when home values have risen across the Dallas area, partly as a result of corporations and investors having bought up a large share of the market, many homeowners have seen their tax bills increase. All of this adds up to a metro area that, despite its success and scale, often feels harder to navigate than it should. It's a city that has grown outward far faster than it has grown together. And until that imbalance is addressed, Dallas will keep feeling like a place defined more by distance than connection. Thanks for watching.
Well,
Structure.
I mean, Dallas looks like massive. First of all, like, where even is the city? Because you can see the city, but then you can also see this like land of suburbs, and also like this would be just so confusing to me. Like, look at how freaking massive this area is. I can just feel like one day, if I ever come to America, which I will, I can see myself getting lost in a neighborhood like this and just like walking and being like, when does it ever end? But thank you guys for joining me for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like. Let me know if you live in the Dallas area. Do you like it? This looks pretty though. And subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video.